Hi there, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. On this channel, we learn alcohol ink, watercolor, and other creative art projects together. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Hi there friends, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be painting a whimsical slice of cake because it's my birthday, so I thought it was appropriate. So you can see I drew this out on a piece of copier paper. Then I scribbled on the back of the image so that I can trace it onto my watercolor paper. Today I'm using Academy watercolor paper. I think this is like 7x5. It's 100% cotton and it is a block, which means that it's glued on all four sides and it has a little slit so you can separate the pages. So now I'm going to adhere the image to my watercolor paper using a little bit of washi tape so that if I lift it to make sure I got everything, I don't lose where it's at because I'll never be able to match it up again. So now I'm just using a pencil and I am going to trace over the entire image. And if you'd like to give this painting a try and don't want to have to draw it, you can pause the video at the end, take a picture, a screenshot of the finished painting, and you can use it as a reference or you can print it out and use it as a traceable. And this is an easy way to transfer an image onto watercolor paper. You can simply scribble on the back and then just trace it, and the lead from the pencil will transfer onto the watercolor paper. I know it's a little bit hard to see here in this video, but it does transfer, and the lines are a little bit fuzzy. So I did get my what do you call this? My mechanical pencil, which I could not find to begin with. But now I'm just going to lightly trace the lines that I transferred just so that I can see them better as I start to paint. And I made a couple of adjustments while I was tracing it to the separation between the icing and the cake. I just made it kind of, I curved the lines a little bit so it's more realistic looking, even though I'm not going for realistic. And now when you transfer the way I did, sometimes you get the smudge of the lead onto the paper. So I'm just using my kneadable eraser to remove those smudges. And today I'll be using my Muño pan paints, and the colors that I decided to use are Naples yellow, yellow ochre, and raw umber. I'll also be using Van Dyke brown, burnt umber, and brown red. In case you have this palette and would like to use the same colors as I did. But it doesn't matter what colors you use. My favorite cake is vanilla cake with chocolate icing, so that's what I'm painting. But you can paint your version with any colors that you like, any flavor of cake that you like. So here I'm using the wet and wet technique. So I am using clean water and I am adding it to the area that I'm going to paint. And the reason I do this is because the top of the cake is going to be a lighter brown than the side of the cake, which will be in shadow. And when I add my paint, I want it to blend softly into one another. I don't want any hard lines. So I wet down the area so that I can have a nice soft effect. And I did not mix my colors before I started this. So that's what I was just doing. So this color is a combination of the burnt umber and the brown red. And I was trying to be so careful around the candle, but you'll see later on what happened. So I'm just adding that color, and now that I'm coming to the edge of the cake, I'm going to use the darker shade of brown. That's the Van Dyke brown, and I mixed a little burnt umber into it also. I want the side of the cake to be darker than the top. And now I'm just using a clean damp brush to blend it a little bit better, soften up that difference in color. And then I'm adding a little bit of the darker color here and there, softening it with a clean damp brush just to add some texture to the icing. And now here's the issue that I had. I got some water on the candle, which I didn't want to do, and I tried to clean it while the paint was still wet, which is a no-no because I'm wetting the area, which means that the paint is only going to flow into whatever area I've wet. So I left it alone. I let it dry, and then I came back and I worked with it a little bit more, but it really didn't seem to help. I was just making matters worse. But stuff happens. Here I'm just trying to wet that little area and use a little piece of paper towel to lift the color. And that helped a little bit, but it didn't make it white again. But that's okay. You'll see later on how I fixed it. So now I'm going to start painting the cake because the icing that I painted, you can see the darker side is still wet. The top is mostly dry, but the side is still wet. So now for the cake, I am using the Naples yellow, yellow ochre, and raw umber. And I'm mixing it on my palette and I'm making sure that it's nice and diluted. And I'm going to start with the Naples yellow. And I'm using the yellow ochre and raw umber to add shadow and texture to the cake. So it's easier to turn my paper so that I don't stick my hand in the icing that is still wet. So you can see here I'm adding the Naples yellow, and again it's very diluted, and I'm making sure that I'm using plenty of water on my brush so that I can keep the paper wet. Now I'm using the yellow ochre to add little dots in that section of cake for texture, and the paper is of course still wet. And now I'm using the raw umber to add a little bit of shadow towards the edges of the cake where it meets the frosting. And I'm just using the tip of the brush to add that in there so that it gives it more texture and makes it look more like cake. And I'm going to be using the same technique for each section of cake. And I'm going to try and make it a little bit darker as I go further down, because I think that would be in shadow, more shadow than the top section. So again, adding in a little bit of texture with the yellow ochre, and then adding the shadow with the raw umber. And I'm going to let that dry a little bit so the color doesn't spread so far, and then I'll come back and add some more texture and shadow. Now, I've never painted a slice of cake before, so to be honest, I wasn't sure what I was doing. And I figured I'm going to give it a try. What do I have to lose? And I love to share these attempts with you. because I want you to see that even though I've never painted it before, it wasn't that difficult, and I hope that it inspires you to give it a try yourself. It's just paper and paint. So here I decided to try and clean up that candle by using an Artex acrylic paint pen and cover up the brown on the candle. And it worked fairly well, but I had to go over the whole candle because if I was going to use any paint over it, any part that I covered with the acrylic paint would not react the same with the watercolor as in the areas that was just the paper. So I covered the entire candle. And that cleaned it up. Mistakes happen, and sometimes you can figure out a way to save it, and other times it doesn't work so well, but I don't give up that easily. So now we're going to paint the icing in between the pieces of cake, or the layers of cake, I should say. So for this, I'm using a heavier, the same colors that I used for the top. That's the burnt red and the burnt umber. And then I'm going to use the Van Dyke brown to add shadow. And I tried to get through this fairly quickly. I should have, or I could have used the wet and wet technique, but I thought that I was going to be able to paint it fairly quickly. But because I am not using my micron pens today to create an outline, surprise, surprise, I wanted to get very close to the edge of the cake. I didn't want any white spaces. When you use the micron pens, you can fill in those spaces with the micron pen, but I didn't want to use that for today. So even though it's kind of like a whimsical painting because it's not very realistic, I just didn't want to use it today. I liked the way this was looking. So it took me a little bit longer to paint it than I had expected. So when I went to add shadow, and you'll see that in just a moment, the paint had dried. But again, there's a solution to that. So if it happens to you, pay attention. I'll show you how to fix that. So you can see that the icing is still lighter than the top, but that's because we've not added any shadow yet. So now I'm using the Van Dyke brown with a little burnt umber, and you can see that I'm getting a hard line because the paint that I applied previously has dried. So I'm cleaning my brush in some clean water, dabbing it on my paper towel, and I am swiping over that area and softening up those edges. And then I'm adding a little bit of texture with whatever paint is on my brush. Just using the tip of the brush to dot here and there and create some texture. And since that area is now wet, you can see that when I add that Van Dyke brown with the tip of the brush, it blended nicely. But now in these areas, again, the paint is dry. So I'm going to use a clean, damp brush to go across that paint that I just added and blend it in. And then since that area is wet, I'm going to add some more of the Van Dyke brown. And then for texture, I'm just dotting with whatever is left on my brush. And now I decided to wet down the rest of the area that I need to add shadow to, because I don't want any cauliflowers or blooms. So now that the area is wet, you can see that as I add the Van Dyke brown, it blends nicely. So for my birthday, I finally have plans. My children And my brother, my boyfriend, and my best friends are coming over, and we're just going to have a little party at the house. And I can't imagine a better way to spend my birthday than to be with the people that I love. Okay, so now we are at the candle, and remember that I used acrylic paint markers over it. So here I'm diluting indigo. And I made sure to add a lot of water. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow on one side. And it's not blending the same as it would if I were just painting on the paper, but that's okay. I'm going to work with it. I'm going to make it work. You can see one side is still white, and you can see a little shadow. And now I'm just sharpening up that edge with a heavier consistency of the indigo. And then I'm going to blend it in a little bit. And I think that turned out pretty darn well. So now for the flame, I'm using lemon yellow in the center. And then around the outside, I'm using orange. And then I'm using a clean, damp brush to blend that yellow into the orange a little bit. And then around the outside, I'm using vermilion to darken it up a little. And then using a clean, damp brush to blend it so I have soft edges. Now, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to add some more detail to the candle, but I didn't like it like that. It didn't stand out too much against the white paper. So I decided to add some stripes. And for that, I used cold pink. And I kept it very simple. I'm just using the tip of the brush and adding some stripes to the candle just to give it a little bit more detail and make it more interesting. And I think it turned out really well, all things considered. See? Don't give up. Well, we are nearing the end of this painting. Again, stay tuned until the end of the video. You can pause it and you can take a screenshot of the finished painting to use as a traceable or as a reference picture, reference photo. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that I've inspired you to give it a try. I've never painted it before and it turned out pretty well. Thank you so very much for watching. Check out the description box for links to the products used, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.